Testing. Just making making sure it's working. Hello. I will give it a minute and see who comes on and kind of get started slowly. I do have a message channeled from Malachai to bring to you guys. I've got some cards. I'm going to pull those just for a general and just see what Spirit wants us to do. There's some major energies coming in, you guys. Major resistance. And I have some messages about that as well. So we will see who comes on. For those who don't know me, my name is Master Juniper Blue Mystique. My true name is Brianna. I had the name given to me, Juniper Blue Mystique, upon my awakening. It was a sudden Kundalini awakening back in 2019 that I didn't ask for. I didn't see coming. Hello. And it changed my reality completely. And then from there, my whole life, it just took over. Literally, I started doing healings I've never seen really at that point. I had never even knew existed. It just was in me to do. So I would follow everything, every nudge. And that led me to doing workshops, creating Hertz music. And then through all of that, the return of Christ. It's very real. Hi, just saying hello. The things I talk about are very real. And, you would think people would be more excited about it, more interested into the work that has come through on this channel. But there has been great resistance because whenever you go to work with me, there will be resistance because I invoke your shadow. Okay. The return of Christ is very real. It is way more amazing than what people are expecting. People are expecting some guy to come out of the sky. But if you put together everything I did in the eclipse and what happened, what I did live to that speaks volumes to why they thought somebody was going to walk out of the sky. Nobody's going to walk out of the sky, technically speaking. That would be beyond logic. Instead, Jesus and his twin soul have been here the whole time. And what the return of Christ was clearing all darkness back to the beginning time, undoing what ripped apart the twin souls, because God is a masculine and feminine. Adam and Eve were a masculine and feminine twin soul. Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Sekhmet and Horus. And those are all of the things that I have been clearing, as well as opening up the 13th gates, not 12, and shutting down and clearing out all 12 of darkness. Yeah, from activating pyramids, clearing Mount Shasta, freeing Jesus' soul because he didn't die on a cross. It was all a lie. Undoing the Holy Grail. I dreamt about that last night, by the way. Just trying to explain to somebody what the return of Christ was, but they kept doing drugs. And so I was like trying to wait until they were sober to tell them. Gosh, that's a twin flame premonition right there, right? So anyways, what's up? Hello, just saying, it's just you and I so far. Oh, Gigi, hello. Again, it says one person's here. So I'm so glad you said hello. I do have a message from Malachai. I spent all morning trying to get rid of whatever this energy is. I keep waking up in pain. I think it's the twin flame stuff. It was going really good. And then bam, like again. And so I was trying to clear it, but it's been difficult to clear. And so Malachai has a message for everybody today of importance. And then I have some cards that I was just going to pull for the collective because it was going to be for healings and stuff, but it seems that we are good to go there. So Malachai says, reach further and further into the depths of your soul to unlock what needs to be made whole. Release the resistance that is holding you at bay, for it holds tighter when great changes are on their way. All right. Hello, Lisa. Again, YouTube lies. There's 3 of you here, but it doesn't reflect that. So that's what Malachai was saying. I'm going to say it again because it's really important for everybody right now. If we can't do these things and we can't make it past the resistance and judgment and expectations and fear, and we could find that we are not where we feel like we need to be, right? That's a really good way to put that. we'll miss something important, especially since we don't have time. We just don't have time to waste. So this is what Malachi said. Reach further and further into the depths of your soul to unlock what needs to be made whole. Release the resistance that is holding you at bay, for it holds tighter when great changes are on their way. Okay. And that's why it takes great strength. That's why the path to righteousness wasn't for everybody. And even people let the resistance hold them at bay from that one. And that's very sad. And then I realized in our angel healings, you guys, do you remember when I was speaking about the storms and the angel healings, where they were? Because storms unleashed. I kept saying, storms are about to unleash. I kept seeing the clouds, and I kept saying that in the angel healings. I think it was day 8, but I can't remember because I'm doing 13 days of healings there. They're ascension based. And even in it, they said that those you can't get as powerful as the path, because the path was done through me as I was bringing through the return of Christ, right? So that's the only way to get the full healing of the return of Christ. And people just mocked it. It was really sad to me. But in day 8, I think, of the angel healings, no, I actually did say places. I remember saying like Iowa. I don't remember exactly where I said it. I have to look back. There was one of them I said specific locations. Hi, Amy. Hello, everybody. Glad you guys are here. Amy might remember. Do you remember on day 8 of the 13 days of angel healings? I mean, there's been already 9 of them, and it goes fast, and a lot comes through them. But in one of them, I spoke of the storms, maybe 2 of them. I said, ooh, storms are brewing, storms are brewing. I saw these dark, dark clouds and lightning. And I keep telling people, everybody thinks it's their chemtrails that are doing this this speaks to how far we don't understand the return of Christ. Okay. I've had people judge it and say, no, it's them, it's their warfare. And it's like, no, you guys don't understand what we did through the return of Christ. I shifted the poles. I added 5 more. These ladies and I even had to go to the Netherlands, and I pull out this pole and I shift the weather. We've done that a few times. And so their chemtrails, what those would do was shorten your seasons. Okay. They were controlling your weather. And right now it's just toxic chemicals they're just putting into your air. Because I have the protective dome, because we've shifted the poles, because I've done so much work, what they have done is only hitting them. Okay. And poisoning people. Unfortunately, they've been doing that though for years. And with the weather, it's actually the shifts of all the stuff that has been come through. Yeah, I did. I listed numerous areas in the US where the storms were brewing, but didn't recall where. And I feel like every time I look at the news, I'm like, I think I said that place. It was Nebraska. I think I might have said that. Oklahoma. I think when I said Oklahoma, I'm like, of course, because that's like Tornado Alley. But I think it was like Indiana, and there were a couple places I mentioned in the live. I think it was day 8 on Facebook, where I said the storms were going to hit. And then they did. But everybody thinks these storms and this weather is their quote unquote global warming. So they lie. They lie to everybody. They cause a lot of fear and panic and chaos. They have been controlling your weather. Yeah, I don't know if that was the storms. I think that was when I was, that, Amy, was when I put a bubble around Mr. T and I grounded him. So I think those are definitely 2 different things. But in one of them, I kept saying the storms are brewing. And then I listed off a few states of where they just showed me. And I think it does align. So I'd be curious to go look back at those lives on Facebook. Not only did they affect the Schumann resonance, right? They're actually playing out right in front of people's eyes that can see. It's pretty amazing. But that's the return of Christ. Everything I did, all the pyramid activations that are on this channel, the resurrection occurring on Christmas Day, every single thing, I speak of things. I speak of things to come. Even to my very first workshop, when I said the real earth is going to rise, right? All of our truths, and then united they fall, and united we stand. So it makes a lot of sense. But people are still so convinced that the weather patternings right now are their chemtrails, and they're not. Okay, the chemtrails, they've been doing those for years and years and years to you. What you guys don't realize, these ladies that went to that did the whole entire return of Christ with me, know the things that came through. And in one of them, we went to, what was it, like Ireland or something? So after they shifted the poles, the fallen came down, tore apart Adam and Eve. This was Atlantic time frame. I know because I saw myself die at the hub of it, which was Lake Titicaca. That's where the sun went down. They talk about the sun rising from there and everything. It all makes sense when you know the truth. But then after they did all that, the fallen knew how to shift the poles, and that's what caused the flood. Okay, people think God caused the flood as punishment. God doesn't punish anything. That's what God is love. And that's a false concept. That's where they created Judgment Day. It's not Judgment Day. It was who heard the call through their heart, who was pure enough. That's all it's about, right? But after they did all that, they went to like other places, right, as like a refuge. And that's when they started shortening your lifespan. They messed with the moon, hence Horus return. When Horus returned, I completely finally cleared off all the darkness of the moon. That took me 4 years to do that as well, and shifting them and stuff. So the truth is beautiful. The truth is really beautiful, but then it also hurts because you know how much they lied. But people are so anchored into those lies, they think that because they shortened your seasons. So that's what was happening. They shortened your lifespan. We should not have a 30-day cycle. I know that's it wasn't our normal, right? Back to the time of Atlantis, people lived a lot longer than they do now. Seasons weren't as short. Remember, in all the work that I did, I've talked several times when I was activating the pyramids and shifting the poles and taking us into 7D, our seasons are going to expand quite a bit. And people come on here and think what I'm saying is not true. Everything on this channel is proven. Everything. I saw 5 people here and then they leave. I can't speak of things that are not true. That would be crazy for me to sit here and say, yeah, I shifted the poles pack. I activated 5 more. I took us into 7D without proof. It's all here. The resurrection occurring on Christmas Day. I ended the Holy Grail. There's proof. It's all right here. I didn't know what that was as I was doing it. It was just unfolding through me. But they shortened your seasons. They shortened your lifespan. And that's what the chemtrails were helping them do. Okay, so these unleashing of these weather patterns now are because of the wrath of Christ. The Christ is returned. The earth is correcting. She needs to readjust and restructure to what she should have always been. But then I also took her into 7D, which means it's more expansive. Okay, so the weather patternings that you're seeing now, these unleashings of tornadoes, I've spoke of them in everything that I've done. From the Nile to, I don't know if I spoke about it in the Nile. I know that I crushed the black crystal and it went across the collective soul in the Nile. And I spoke of the 13 gates. But in activating the pyramids and all the weather things that we do, I speak of the wrath and how it has to correct herself. And so we need to, the seasons will become longer. Things like that will occur. She's going to adjust. They lied. Global warming was bullshit. She was a warmer planet to begin with than she was in the old Earth. And so these are things we need to come out of, is the limited structures of the mind. The thing is people are waking up now to what they've been doing, but they don't have that power anymore. And if you actually watch my videos, you would know that. Because one of the very first things I did to the moon was undo their connection. They couldn't listen in anymore. Their ears would bleed. Okay. So there's a lot people are missing. And when people succumb to the resistance, it doesn't help because we're all connected, right? So when some people succumb to the resistance, or they listen with judgment, they listen with haste, they don't listen to the whole thing, they don't absorb it, they don't look at the proof, then those are connected to do the same thing. Okay. And so we have to be very careful with that. We have to be very careful with what we're doing right now and what we're understanding. And because everything that's unfolding as far as big things, not dark people that go on mass shootings, but the big readjustments of the earth are divinely guided. Okay. So I find that interesting how people are waking up to what they've done, but not quite to what is unfolding that is Christ related. And they're missing a lot. And that speaks to the message from Malachi. So reach further and further into the depths of your soul to unlock what needs to be made whole. Release the resistance that is holding you at bay, for it holds tighter when great changes are on their way. Malachi. Very important. And then, since nobody's really coming on and nobody wants healings or anything today, I am just going to pull a collective message and then, I don't know, be on our way. Okay, let's see. I've got a few decks here, so let's see what comes out. We have an elemental oracle. I'm almost done with my deck, though. So I started coloring the cards now, my new deck, and I'm on the 49th card, and I think it's only going to go to 55. So these are 1 and 2. I've been coloring them now. I drew them. I'm coloring them. I'm excited about that. Super excited about that. All right. So we'll just pull some collective message, and then we'll be on our way. Day 10 will be at 4:44. So for those that can make it on Facebook, the free healing will be there. If you can hear the Hertz music, I don't know if you can. If you want an animal healing, Lisa, absolutely. You're a regular, so it's just I put in the description that it's less for you. So those that purchase from me often, I made the price less. Yeah, absolutely. We can do an animal healing, and that's why I put in the title too, for sure. We can do that. Yes, my new deck is almost done. You guys, I wish I could pull the cards for it for you today. I feel like I should be, but they're just not all done. See, I mean, I'm still drawing them. I don't know if you can see them. I love these cards, though. They are the absolute most favorite deck I've done out of all 3 of them. Look at these. And so I think it's going to go to 55, but I'm on 49 now. And look at that. There's a lot of sigils that came through in these that I really, really like. I back when I had my awakening, I remember I kept seeing sigils. I was going to do a deck of sigils, but I didn't do it because of the twin flame attack and stuff. It just didn't get done. And when I survived all of that stuff and the new DM started rising and we were doing more creative healing releases and stuff, it just like heightened, and I love them. So there's a lot of sigils in these. I really like this deck. I wish it was done now. I worked on it hard yesterday. I'm trying to push it out like right now, because it needs to be out, right? Like if I could pull this deck for messages for you, I would. So I'm just showing you some of them, and I really like it. I really, really, really do. So hopefully in a week it'll be complete and publishing it. I'm hoping. And I started coloring it. I've the last one I did, you guys know I did like a stick figure one. And then the Ascension deck, I used the portal images. So I didn't draw this one. But this deck is all drawn and created, and now I'm coloring it. And I'm like, I hope it's good. I've got to make sure it translates, though, into printable card decks. So I've got one platform that accepts my drawings. I'm going to try more. This one I need to correct. I'm like, I don't know if I like it. I don't know. We'll see how it all comes out. I'll really lock it. I'll do. All right. So we can do a healing on Puppy Jameson today. As a master healer, it doesn't matter. People who heal people should be able to transition into animals. They should be able to, because animals are alive just like we are, right? So it's awesome to try, but again, we all have different strengths. Some people like to do animals. Some people like to do people. I can do both. So we do that here. So let me just pull really quick for the collective, and Jameson will get a healing. I haven't got to do an animal healing in a while, and I felt the need to do it. I just felt like it was necessary. And then my dog needs a good grooming too. She's a Pomsky, so she's got horrible 2 coats, right? The 2 worst coats I think you could get as far as shedding, and then that undercoat like mats up. And so I got a new brush coming for her today. I don't know. It's just there's too much pressure going on in my energy, too much weight on my shoulders with the twin flame stuff right now. So it's heavy. I'm trying not to let that reflect, but it gets old after a while. Honestly, it's hard. It's just hard. It is hard. I wake up. The last couple nights has been intense. And then today I'm like, screw it again. I'm just going to go get a doobie. I'm like, wait. I can't do that. I can't do that. And then I'm like, well, yeah, I can't have fun. So you see the battle. It's like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on another. Really quick, let me just pull a little guidance for the collective. And then if Jameson is ready, I can do a healing on Jameson. And then I've had this song I don't like in my head. And I don't know where it came from. Oh, Amy. Okay, you guys, Amy. I just got a smudge on my glasses. And it went down to like, what, 2 people here? It says YouTube is wonky. It'll say nobody's here and a bunch are. So comment. Don't be afraid. Amy says, sorry, just went back and looked. Water pollution, oil toxicity, and soil. Alaska, Iowa, Louisiana, Kansas, Atlantic Ocean, and Antarctica. Day 7 of 13. Okay, so Iowa, Louisiana, Kansas. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I knew I said something about it. So water pollution, oil toxicity, and soil. This is what I'm talking about. People think that their chemtrails are causing this weather. It's not. Everything I did took their power away, but it doesn't mean the toxicity isn't going into your lungs, unfortunately. It's creating brain fog, Spirit is saying, angst and anxiety. It creates fear and sicknesses, so like allergies and colds and a lot of like coronavirus type stuff. And that's what their chemtrails are doing to you. Lung issues, and Lord knows probably cancer, because even weed spray can create that, right? But the weather has been shifted, the poles have been shifted, and then we created 5 more. And I aligned more planets when I took us into 7D. So, people still don't, we're waking up at a certain level to what they've been doing more and more. Some people are, but there's a lot further awakening we need to do, right? Like for the real. All right, so this is what the cards have to say really quick. So interesting. Oil toxicity and soil, water pollution. That's right. I remember things were coming out of the water. Alaska, Iowa, Louisiana, Kansas, Atlantic Ocean, and Antarctica. Oh, man. So a lot of toxicity is rising. That's what it was. That's right. Thank you. Day 7 of 13 on Facebook. And then I had also said storms are brewing, and they just unleashed all over. So that one might have been day 8 or 9. I don't know. I channel them, so it's hard to remember what was coming. There it is. All right. I'm not looking at the cards yet. This is just a click for the collective, and then Jameson can get a healing. I'm telling you right now, this twin flame stuff, I don't know. It's like it was so up and good, and then in one fell swoop, it just went wham. And so I don't know if there's releasing. I don't know. I'm just riding the freaking bumper car. Where there is great reason, the resistance is massive, like so much fear and resistance just rising. So we have to watch that. Where there is great resistance, push against it and do something, because then amazing things are going to come. Go against the resistance. Go against the resistance. Okay? Where there's resistance, be like, ooh, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it now. Surrender procrastination. This is a collective soul. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Surrender procrastination. Surrender to intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Progress is not always noticeable until after you sit in stillness. Honor your progress today. That talks about meditating, letting things process, because there's always a lot going on and we don't see the brevity of it until after, usually, right? Healing your inner child. This is one of my favorite cards in that deck. This is my deck. Healing to the freedom of allowing yourself to be the person you were always meant to be before judgment, ego, and lack of love clouded what we could no longer see. That's what that means. A lot of people want to go backwards to their inner child and love them unconditionally, and I've never really done it that way. I dive within and heal the wounds that kept love at bay. Destruction brings beautiful changes, power to rearrange spaces. Okay, so each wave of destruction is going to bring new waves of changes and beautiful rebirth. All right. And again, the weather patterning you see now is divinely guided. I also put the gods all across the earth. I remember there was a couple where we did that. And they have jobs to do. All right, so we have, this one's interesting. We have home, earth, right? This truly talks about connecting to earth is what this one is saying right now. It's super important to connect to earth. It not only to connect to earth, but to expand that connection to earth is super important right now. Okay. We need to connect to earth, but we need to expand our connection to earth. And then because there's so much richness to her that we are not tuning into yet, right? Like she is expanding, she is growing, she is changing. And the water is significant. Thank you, Amy, for going back at that. Because all the pollution, all the toxicity is rising to the surface. And so the more you tune into the earth, the more you can bypass all of that and to expand into her new richness and her healing state, because the earth is healing. That's what people don't realize is the return of Christ. Everything I did to the earth. It was to the earth. And now people must rise with that, except for those that did the path with me and go through work with me. Other than that, you have to rise through the work that I did, the return of Christ work, right? Through each portal, through each trial and tribulation, through lesson, through releasing karma and shadow. And the more you do that, the more, like Malachai said, to reach further and further into the depths of your soul to unlock what needs to be made whole. Release the resistance that is holding you at bay, for it holds tighter when great changes are on their way. The more you do that, the more you connect to the new earth. The more you connect to the new earth, the more you bypass the toxins that are, because there's kind of two worlds right now, right? We have one that's falling and dying and exposing, and then the other that is expanding and rebirthing and growing. And this time is slower on the new earth, and time is speeding up for the old earth. So because I also undid the false concept of time a few times. So one earth is speeding up really fast, and that's where all these things are just like bam, 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 bam. And there's a lot of chaos unfolding in it. And the other earth is slowing down. Okay. And that's kind of what these cards are telling us to do. Okay. know that the destruction and the chaos and the changes are beautiful. And if we get that perspective, it helps us. And then continue healing what removed us from love, judgment, ego, and lack. Okay. Because progress isn't always noticeable, we don't need to worry about looking for that. Just keep going. Okay. Now, does Saint wants a healing? Okay. So we have Jameson and Jacinth getting a healing. Jameson is a puppy, a big puppy, probably more, not less a puppy anymore, I'm feeling. How old is that dog? About 2, I'm hearing, maybe? Yes, I see that. No worries. So I was right, almost 2. That's what I'm hearing in the energy was about 2. So thank you for validating that. So we're going to go into Jameson's healing, and then we will go into Jacinth's healing. Okay. An animal to a living being, a human. We're all living beings. Let me correct that. Our fur baby to our... How do you distinguish the two, right? Like, really, we're all living creatures. There really isn't too much difference, except for we have more capabilities and power than they do. They're here to love and nurture, and some people don't give that back to them, do they? My kids asked a really good question the other day. Do animals know when somebody accidentally hurts them to when somebody purposely hurts them? I'm like, yeah, they do. Because my daughter accidentally, I think, stepped on my dog's paw or something. And she felt so bad. She's like, does she know the difference if it's an accident or on purpose? Animals are pure love, but we just don't always give it back to them. Some people do. Some people don't. And you guys are not people. So we have some people confusing that as well and treating them like they're children. But the dogs get confused when we do that. So we should be very careful with that too. All right, Mr. Jameson, let's do this. So I call on the creator of all that is just for a space of protection and love. And I ask for the highest light in and the highest light out. Anchor us into the pure divine guidance of above, and to let everything else be let out. We can clearly see, hear, and feel what it is that we need to, and receive in the ways that we need to as well. Miracles flow, and nothing less. I need to open my heart a little bit more because of the twin flame stuff. It's just kicking my ass. Excuse me. Tuning in and opening up. So that's releasing for that. So I apologize. Okay. So I'm going to start going into Jameson's energy. So as I'm going up his little paws, I'm drawn immediately to his kidneys, but particularly the left kidney. And then my ears. Like I'm really having, there's a yeasty deep in my ear. Oh. So I feel like a bit of a bacterial infection is present here because I went directly to the kidney and then I'm going to my ear, and my ear feels really wonky. So it's way deep down inside, almost like bugs get in there and just different things, right? Because they're closer to the earth, but they're also like, their ears are just, they can hold things in there just the way it is. And I feel like sometimes there's been like medicine here maybe in his ear before, and it effectively didn't clear it all. So I'm going into Jameson's kidney, and it hurts a little bit. Like I feel like I'm a little bit toxic, right, within my system. A little bit dizzy and lethargic at the same time. And I don't know if it's excessive thirst, but I just feel like I can't quite quench my thirst. And then diabetes. Why am I hearing like prone to diabetes with this breed? Can dogs get diabetes? Yes, they can. And we don't really know that too much. Like it's not something that's commonly seen or diagnosed properly. I just need to go into his kidney. And then something about like a vaccine, like they get their shots too, right? And I feel like it's causing some toxicity here. Like I feel like I have a bacterial infection. I go into my kidney and my other ear is hurting. Can I go into my kidney again and my ears hurt? And I'm even sensitive. Like if somebody grabs my backside, like in front of my hips right there, I may cry and whimper. I don't feel like they'll mean to do that to him, but I feel like he's just very sensitive in that area. And he's a bit jealous and territorial right now, I feel like, in his energy. I just need to balance the insulin. I wouldn't necessarily say he has diabetes. Whoa, I'm sorry. That's a big release right there. Holy crud. But in his liver and kidneys, I need to balance the enzymes and the insulin production and release. And then I'm going up into his head, into his brain system. And I have a headache as I do that. Oh, they're just sensitive to all the chemicals too. So if you spray your yard as well with it, like, or if it's in the air, I feel like it's in the air. So even oddly enough, like I feel like he needs to stay away from chicken and beef. And anything like that. I need also to watch out for those, like, you know, how they have like grain free and all these kind of weird things where almost is if a dog could eat, like if we could grow our own foods and feed some of those to them as well, that would be much more healthier because a lot of their foods are also processed. I've been thinking about that with my dog too. Like much more not our junk food though, right? Like our healthy food with to them would also help. I have to clear some vaccine toxicity through the kidneys as well. And I'm going back up to his brain, and my head hurts as I do that. So I'm going into like their through the brain stem and into his brain system and structure. So I want to say just like ours, epiglottis, pituitary gland, pineal gland, and I need to balance the hormones, but also for the insulin production and absorption. I need to balance that. I feel like I have a bacteria infection. I'm tired. I'm lethargic, but I have bouts of energy. But then my ears hurt, and I get a little bit like my equilibrium is off, and I don't like I have a hard time adjusting from car rides to not car rides type of a thing. I can't remember if I feel like that's a familiar zone. And then my paw, it hurts, my toes, my toenails, my toes hurt. Just stress, like too much going on, stress, chaos and stress. Dogs are very sensitive to the environment, to the energy that is in the world right now, I feel like, and it's just that. But they're like happy creatures. They want to find that happiness. But he's an absorber. He likes to absorb emotions for you. Because I don't know if we realize, but dogs are natural healers, just like cats can be. And he likes to help absorb your emotions or any in the area to help alleviate the presence for you. So from the brain back to the liver and kidneys, and then I feel bloated. Be careful with treats as well. So I would try to do like just more natural. Maybe even less treats, more natural. He could do like brown rice, some carrots and peas, even a little mashed potatoes in there. These kinds of things would actually do well. So even maybe making like some homemade treat balls. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. It's just what I'm hearing and seeing in the energy. I've never done that myself, but that's a really good idea. I might try that. He's insulin resistant. Like I'm not secreting, I'm not absorbing it enough. It's not in balance. Then I got to go to my ear. So I'm going up to the ears, and I feel like it's affecting both of them. So I go to my right ear and then I go to my left ear. And it's way deep down in here. Like I don't think they'd be able to clear that out just very easily. And even I don't think their medicines are not quite accurate. They don't always, not the full remedy, I guess you could say. And I'm going deep down in there, and I'm going to run some light through the auditory canal. And I feel like I'm shaking my head. Like, wow, like I can feel that in my ear. And then I'm like all excited, like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Like, oh, let's do this. That's the energy I just took on. I'm going back to the kidneys. So the auditory, so I feel like they're related. So like when my balance gets off for my hormones and just like as humans, right? One thing gets off and it affects all systems. I somehow feel like their ears are truly intricately connected to the kidneys in a big way. And I feel a little nauseous. And then something about he has something lodged in his intestines. So I feel like it just gets stuck. So it's almost like my intestinal tract towards my colon is a little thinner than I want it to be. It's just tightened. It's like almost constricted, and it won't release that constriction. And my ears. Lots of energy shifting within this poor puppy. I feel like the breed is just sometimes we inbred them, you know what I mean? And it can just do things. We change breeds. We've done that throughout history, and it can just cause things sometimes. So even as I'm clearing out the ears here, like I feel it into my head. And I'm going back down to the intestines. This is towards where my colon would almost line up with my intestinal tract. And I feel like it's constricted. It's not releasing that hold. So like when we push or something to go potty, like it's constricted, and then we should relax. But I feel like almost like his sphincter isn't relaxing. it can cause things like diarrhea or obstructive bowel movements, or even a little blood in the bowel movements, because like we would get like a hemorrhoid or something, right? Like it's just causing some issues there. So I'm like drawing light up through there and relaxing it. And as I'm doing that, I feel like this backed up waist is starting to come down. And then from there, I need to go back to the kidneys again. And the liver. And then like the pituitary gland type thing in the brain. They're all connected. And then my ears. And his nose is prone to, like, my nose is runny. Really runny, especially on my left side. It's just like really runny, especially on my left side. So I'm going to intricately send some light through these ear canals. Just yeast. I'm like prone to yeast stuff within my ears. And it might even have to do with like his back teeth as well. Like it's all connected. So I'm just cleansing. I'm towards the back teeth and I'm really getting into the gum line and into the jaw. And I need to cleanse that. And I need to cleanse up into the ear canal from there. And I feel like he's like, what is going on? Like he can feel it, like shaking my head. And then for some reason I'm drawn to like what would be like his shoulder blade into his elbow. And then down into my paw and into my nail again. So I don't know what happened here, but there's some trauma and it went up into my whole entire structure there. I just need to relax it. I need to release that. My nose is still very runny. So I'm going to go to the other ear and I'm just going to really draw some light through his auditory canal, but from the back of the jaw and the teeth and going all the way up into his ear. And even his eye, like it might be runny and boogery at times. It was like... I'm just so happy and go lucky. I'm just a happy dog. I really am. It might sound strange for anybody coming in during this. I'm like, I'm a happy dog. But that's okay. He is a very happy dog, but he's very emotional and he likes to absorb any negativity for you and from you. So even if it comes into the energy and it's not necessarily yours, he like energetically will put up a barrier and try to absorb it for you. That's like his superpower. That's what he does naturally. But he takes it on and he's an animal and he's not quite letting it out, right? Like I don't release it like we would do. Like we would transmute it into the earth. And so I'm going to take all of that out of his whole entire structure, from his lungs, his kidneys, his liver, his like where his pancreas would be, colon type area, intestinal tract, all of it. And I'm just going to dump all of this energy. I need to dump all of this energy out. My nose keeps running really bad on the left side. And then in the lungs, there's some spores and particles in the lungs. And I got to go back to the kidneys and the liver. I got to go back. Ugh. And there it is again, my left kidney. It just really, really, really hurts. It's really tender. It's a bit enlarged. I'm not absorbing and releasing these toxins like I should, especially insulin. So, how we have like a gallbladder. I feel like I'm going to this gallbladder type area and I'm cleansing all of that and I'm releasing these toxins. And then back to the colon lining and into the intestines, and I'm relaxing it even more. And I just need to send some really calming energy. So they eat grass for a reason, but it doesn't ever do their body good. And I feel like I need to release some of that here. I don't know if he likes to dig, but I feel like that hurts. So something with the toenail, and it went up into my foot though more than you think, and then up into my arm and into my elbow. So I don't know if they did surgery here or what is going on, but I feel like it hurt like all the way up into my shoulder. And I want to dig, but it like hurts, kind of a feeling like I want to dig and it hurts. So I'm like, ooh, excited. Then I'm like, ow. Dogs have auras. Are you aware of that? So I just tuned into his aura. So he is an energy healer. He loves to absorb all his energy, like I said, and I need to cleanse it out of his aura now. It's a little murky. And I get a little weird with my spatial presence. And I need sunlight. So I'm bringing sunlight down into his aura and down into actually through his skull and into his brain. I need direct. Do you get very little sunlight where you are sometimes? I don't know. But I just need direct sunlight into his actual brain. So I'm bringing a little bit of sun into his brain. I can feel it. Like my head is a little sore. Like I can feel that. It's kind of like a bit of a headache. I'm going to do another toxic dump. So it's almost like I'm going to take what would look like a light or a white flame, and I'm going to go from the front of his aura into his energy, and then like from his face, so his nose, and all the way back. And it's almost like we would send something through pure light to purify, right? So it kind of looks like that. It's like a wave of light, and I'm just running it all the way from his front energetic and then physical self all the way down the back and then my tail, almost like it was once injured. And I'm taking all this light all the way through and out. And I'm going to bring it again. And I'm going to take it all the way through and out. I need to cleanse his muscles now. So I did the structure of his systems, and then I did his aura. Now I'm going into his muscles to release these trapped energies and toxicities. It's true. They're a little bit toxic as well. So when we can't do stuff when like the insulin thing not being proper, or our colon and intestines constricted and they won't release, things will start to back up. But I feel like he has a lot of backed up energy in his muscle structure also. And then something with like a vaccine at some point with his DNA. So I'm just going to heal that. I'm doing a DNA or genetic repair. And I'm not even sure it was just a vaccine, but I have to do like a genetic repair. Things just mess with our system. They just do. In a fake toxic world, right? Even for animals too. My nose is going crazy. No. Like I feel like I'm a dog sneezing, right? Like sneezing. So I'm releasing these toxins from the muscles. And then I'm almost like taking water through his system to help flush it. Because I don't think he would drink enough water on his own to flush it, if that makes sense too. So I feel like I'm pulling these toxins out of the muscles, and then I'm using water and I'm just flushing them. And then I need to almost take like toxic soil, just kind of like we talked about, all these toxins are rising through the water and the soils. And I'm going to remove that and put in cleansed, iron-rich, mineral-rich soil under his feet right now. Kind of like we did in our detox workshop. That's really cool. Who knew we got to detox our animals too? That makes sense. Jeez. And into his paw. So like a toe injury, my toes. I do remember you saying something about your dogs, but I don't remember details a lot, just that they got injured. I don't remember if you said he had surgery. I don't know. I do remember something though. But regardless, I'm putting soil on his toes and into that. But this is mineral rich, iron rich. So I'm detoxing. And then again, back at the back of his mouth. So I feel like my mouth is very big right now. Like it's bigger than what I have. It's out here. And I'm going back to the back structure and I'm cleansing out this space. So unless we get in there, we really floss our dog's teeth and stuff, it's really hard to get, like, they're going to let us half the time anyways, unless you're a vet and you can put them to sleep and open up their mouth. Almost like it gets stuck like on the roof of his mouth behind his back teeth. I totally feel like he can tell what I'm doing. Like I feel like every now and then I'm like, what's going on? Back to the ears. I need to cleanse them one more time. Really, really, really good. So I'm going to gently put some white and then like some gray. So it'd almost be like a gray quartz type energy, like we would do a smoke almost, cleansing out this space. Oh, I feel it. That's weird. And I'm just drawing it through my auditory canal. Almost like little gnats or something too, like a bug. And then I'm running some light through his intestinal system and through his colon and out, and I'm flushing it. And then the final toxin release through the muscles. And then his central nervous system. So I'm calming it down a little bit so he stops absorbing. So he is what people would call an empathetic person, right? We're all that way if we're emotionally in tune. So animals are prone to that. So he's very emotionally in tune and he likes to, that's what he does. It's like a gift, but it's also his, because he doesn't know how to release it. So I don't know if you could give him a saltwater bath, put his feet in it, just like, like every now and then some Epsom salts at the bottom of his feet and like a bath would be actually beneficial. You don't want to go all the way up too much, but if you go like halfway up his legs and just allow him to just be present in that every now and then, that might help. And then something about one of your doorways, make sure there are none of those like metal strips sticking up, or even like a certain kind of carpet where the nails will catch, those kinds of things. Or even like from one room to the next where there's a lip. So if you have like a sliding glass door, yeah, that's hard because if he goes fast, he goes fast. What are you going to do? Tell him, excuse me, Mr. Jameson, please slow down and step over clearly. Like they're going to get that, right? I don't know. Is what it is. Final cleansing of the lungs. And then through the stomach, through the intestinal tract one more time. Finishing removing all the energy from his aura, and then his liver and kidneys, the liver, really boosting it to absorb and produce the insulin function properly. And this also has to do with like a gallbladder, the liver, the kidneys, and into the brain. Hypothalamus, all the structures of the brain. And I got to do the ears one more time. I'm like sending vibration through the auditory canal this time. So it's kind of like you see on TV where it's like the vibration energy, and you can see it in waves, and that's what I'm sending through the ears. And they have chakra systems too. So I'm just aligning and balancing his because he is so empathetic or emotionally in tuned and likes to absorb those. I need to make sure that's all aligned and clear. And I feel like he's done with me after that. He's like, oh my gosh, get me on up out of here. It's too much. He's overwhelmed. It's overwhelming his senses. Very sensitive. Such a sweetheart. Very sensitive. Loves music, especially blues. Like the beat. He really likes that. And even some reggae could like that too. All right, Mr. Jameson. I will leave him be. I feel like he's had enough of me and his energy. Lisa, I just opened my eyes and I saw yes, energy healer. Your question about vaccines. I stopped getting my dog's vaccines a while ago. My dog. I was never an anti-vaxxer until my awakening and what I know that they've been doing to them. It's not like vets are out to harm our dogs. Okay. Majority of them are not. Just like there's doctors out there who don't want to hurt people. They want to help people, but they can only give you what they're given. They don't make these vaccines on their own. Oh, they all just got them in December. So they don't make them on their own. They've all been genetically modified. So a lot of the things that they have been doing, from our foods to our crops and just everything has been being genetically modified. And that's affecting it. Okay. It's not the vets going, well, let's give them these and these. They're trying to help. And at one point they were a bit helpful, possibly. But, do what you want to do with your dogs, because I never want to tell people not to do things. But personally, I won't. I removed my kids from public school. I'm just very protective at this point, because knowing what I did in the return of Christ and how if we aren't genetically viable, it messes with us to rise. So that's my caution. But this isn't the first time. So I had another animal healing that I did another time, and it was like parvo related, but the vaccine was making it worse. So it is what it is. That's all I can say. Okay, so let me go back through he shakes his ears a lot. Yes, he eats only salmon and potato, grain-free. So be careful of the grain-free. I would say that. Okay. Be careful of grain-free. I think actually some grain is okay. It just depends on what kind of grains. He's been eating so much grass. Yeah. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. So that's what I was seeing through his colon, was grass coming through the whole entire. How would I know that? I wouldn't have known that. Aw, yes, he's very loving. He is an energy healer. Aw. Yeah, so he needed some sunlight. I love that. Aw, he's a cute puppy. Thank you for allowing me in his energy. All right, so Jacinth was next, if she's still here. He is so sensitive. He was like, okay, enough in my energy. He's like, I've had enough. I don't know how long it was. I was trying to figure that out. When I do healings for people with bookings, it's usually after 45 minutes, they're done too, especially if there's a real true illness, you know? You're welcome. Hey, so sweet. Thank you for letting me know that. About half an hour and he was done. He's like, I've had enough. This is weird. Just super sensitive. Like they can feel it. And he shakes it. Thank you for all the validations. That's very beautiful. Great on the food, except for be careful with grain free. Some of those are more toxic than not. It's almost like eating and drinking diet sodas. I had a friend who became obsessed with diet soda and then literally this was before my awakening, bladder cancer. So sometimes those are not always the best. There should be some grains. All right. So just say, if you are ready, let me know. I spent the whole morning trying to raise my vibration from the twin flame thing, and it just immediately went like, I don't know what's going on there. I wish I did. They don't tell me too much anymore. Just hold space. She says, yes, ready. Okay. I feel like I will be pulling a message with you as well, just saying. Because I was like, why didn't I for Lisa? Oh, yeah, it wasn't for Lisa. It was for Jameson. I was just in a dog's energy. They're telepathic. I didn't need to pull a card for him. Okay. All right, just saying. Let me take off my glasses because it's just ridiculous. They keep getting those marks and I get irritated when they're dirty. I can't see right. So I'll be cleaning my glasses like 20 times a day. All right. After Jameson, it's just my sinuses are like clearing out. Forgive that. Absolutely, Amy. That's why I made my live later for 4. I have all the time in the world. Truly, I do. I'm freedom in time. I make my own schedule. So, yes, if you would like a healing, absolutely. All right, just say it. Let me see here. I feel like the protections are quite high that you've been doing, so I need to release them a little bit so I can get into your energy. You've been doing great with those because I can tell. Like I can't fully penetrate your energy yet, so let me just lighten some of those. I still have a little Jameson in my energy. I'm like, all right, you're so cute. I gotta go. I do. I feel like you're working really hard at those protections, and they're a little bit tight. So I'm just releasing, but not undoing. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Perfect. All right. I think we've got enough there. Just saying. Okay. So I had a lot of cards flying out. They were popcorning. So you are definitely doing some work. It is reflecting, and I'm getting chills up my left side as I'm saying that. Okay. Be careful of your perception. Go deeper for a clearer perspective and perception. Okay. I feel like our old programming, you see how there's like a mask up here, causes us to see things a certain way. And we need to change our perception of the world around us. But not only do you need to, it is trying to change for you, like those masks, right? It's a great indication of what I'm saying here. And it's about true harmony and peace and faith, okay? But also playfulness. I feel like you have a really hard time with some playfulness. You are a people pleaser. You're always worried about others big time. But what about, excuse me, what about you? Beware of your thoughts. Keep them positive and allow the old perceptions of the world to fade. So I feel like this is really hard for you, Justine. This is really hard for you because you're so anchored into that old world, and the old world is dead. It's like gone. It doesn't exist anymore. You have risen into the new earth with me. And so it's really hard for the perception of how tight of a structure you should live in to allow yourself to expand that. Does that make sense? It's almost like, what do you mean I have freedom of time and freedom of creation and freedom of this? That's really hard for you. Sweet. Thank you for that. It's really hard for you to do that. I'm sorry. Oh, adjusting out of Jamieson's energy fully and into yours. And it's just, whoa. Guys, the energies are really dense right now. Something about a massive wave just came in, and I can feel it in all of our energy. Ugh. Okay. So release the limited mind structure. Release the limited mind. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to bring down the light from the heavens above. I've got to do that. But this is also pink. It's representative of unconditional love. You need to up your game in self-love and self-perception. So perception of the self. There are quite vast of limits. And this came through. This is weird to say because today I did the 13 gates of abundance again. I keep doing that. Just because my DM is rising with me, right? Like he hasn't fully entered in. And so I'm trying to clear all these energies that combat and stuff and release the shackles that bind because fear can rise and stuff. And I want you to do that again with the intent to listen to what each 13 gate represents. So not to heal in it. Do one round with it where you write down what each 13th gate represents. And this is what you need to get a clearer perspective on and release those shackles that are binding you. Okay. Because who says what you have to do? Why? You're not two. You know what I mean? Like we have in the matrix, it's such a tight structure. And spirit is trying to get you to expand the perception of the new earth. Okay. I hope that makes sense for the cards that were pulled too. Have hope, have faith, love. You need more unconditional love in your heart space, but to repair that connection with the past as well. Because there was a lot of damage done through religion, and we know this. And so it's almost like a relationship healing with the self from the past and present and future. So I'm bringing down the light of love, a lot of pink goddess light with some green rays in it as well. And I'm bringing them down into your energy. And right away, there's negative. So somehow this goes with your thoughts. Didn't we get that card? Thoughts? Okay. So somehow, just like when I get attacked, I'll tell you it'll hurt my ear. Remember when you were doing the healing on me and we released one of the ears fully and the other one is so stubborn that every now and then my ear will hurt and I'll have all these negative thoughts come in. That's exactly what this is. That's that pressure in your ear. So thoughts, what thoughts are you picking up that are negative? What is the thought patterning playing out in your reality perception? What are you perceiving to be true and not true? My light just went on in my third eye when I said that. Light bulb action awakening. I'm getting it, right? Like full circle. It's starting to integrate more, but we'll clear these ears and then negative thoughts will get in and you'll allow those to guide you sometimes. And it's just because of our structure of the third dimensional reality and all the things that the shadow tries to get us to do and integrate back in. Okay. So the ears will stop the moment that you're in your heart-centered balance and you'll hear them coming in and you'll adjust immediately to a positive perception. Combat them with positive. Just keep doing that. But pay attention to what I feel like this is more towards yourself. Never towards other people necessarily. It's more towards yourself first. You'll get like this negative dialogue will come in through the ears and it'll get in the head. 666. That's how the shadow works. But you're so easy to pick those up because that's kind of still kind of almost like, why should I believe anything more about myself? Like, how do I deserve that? Relationship healing with the self. So I do see the figure 8 and you standing on both ends. Pressure in my ears. Okay, so I'm bringing the light down through your higher chakras. Your 22nd is really important right now. It needs a detox or activation of a detox. And I'm going down from there, especially towards the 18th. And I need to release anxiety and fear. So I'm taking the white flame also to both of those. And then I'm bringing them down, the lights, the pink and the green, down into your crown. My ears. As soon as I get there, both my ears. This is both your ears. Be very careful what you say to yourself about yourself, or what you allow the dialogue to make you feel about yourself, what you accept, because it's accepting. Nothing can happen to us, but only through us. But it's something you truly believe about yourself. So we've got to heal that and let that go. You are so powerful. You are a powerful healer. I don't let just anybody heal me. I would let Amy heal me. There's a few of you I would. Okay, you understand that? I'm very picky because they have to be pure. You have a pure heart. You are a very powerful healer. And I just need you to believe this about yourself. But this dialogue that gets in your head, and you're so quick to take that on. This is generational, almost collective programming. It's not, I don't feel like you went through a whole lifetime of abuse to get there. I feel like it's generational and collective programming to a great degree. And then I'm in your, like, there's gifts in you you're not reflecting out. Again, a book. Like, you're a storyteller. You're a beautiful writer. You have the gift of creativity within your words. And this is something to love within yourself. From children's books to adult novels, you can write great story and you can take people away on a journey just with the simplicity. The chills. Woo! And the art form in your words of creative reflection. It's beautiful. That's a gift for sure. So I'm opening up the crown and I'm clearing it more, and I'm going into your third eye and I'm opening it up and clearing it more. And there's a little grayness in the back of your head, like in your brain, actually in the brain, not in the chakra. So I know I'm in the chakras, but I just got to clear this. It's like murky. Ooh, and I can feel that. I feel like it's just energy that got stuck when releasing, right? That's all. So I'm going there to the throat now. And again, be very careful with the self-talk, the self-dialogue, the perception of the self. That's what those masks are. Why do I do this? We need to deep dive into that and really, truly release it. I feel like you've done a lot of healing, and you're to the point again where it's the outer structure. So remember, when you do healing with me for the ascension, we release it from the outside, and then you have to deprogram it, or release it from the inside and you have to deprogram from the outside. So it's going to try to get you the same way it always gets you. And now it's time to truly not allow it back in. Okay. A lot of self-love talk. A lot, even if it's uncomfortable, especially where it's uncomfortable. I know you've come a long way. You have come a long way with that, but there's still a little bit to go, because we don't realize how much of that reflects to others. Okay, so I'm going down into the heart and opening that, and I'm going down from there into but also your other new chakras. I need to, so the one between the throat and the heart, it's almost like tilted out of alignment to where my throat is not connecting through it, right? The new chakra system for 7D. So I need to, because I feel like it's upgraded a lot. We've done a lot of work here. So I just need to push it back to where it's aligning freely. This also went through the planets for the 7D integration. And I'm wondering, do I need to go do that to them? But I'm hearing no. So it doesn't reflect through the planets. It's just within you. I just need to move it right and allow it to flow. And then I'm going boom down into the heart, down into the solar plexus and your other new chakras, and going down from there all the way through into your root. Now, when I'm getting into your sacral and root, I feel muck and yuck. So I'm going to start to draw this out. And then I'm going to ground you completely. So I'm going to dump some roots down your legs and down your root chakra. There's 3 connections here. And I'm going down through all 3 of your earth star chakras and through those and into the crystalline grid. And I feel like Atlantis is being reborn within us. Now, remember on day 2, this makes sense, of the angel healings on Facebook. Day 2, we did more Atlantis activations. Somehow you got more. I'm seeing that here. So you got more Atlantis activations and awakening within your system, but it's also happening within the earth. And that's reflecting through the energy here. So I'm going to really tuck these into, they don't want me going to the core. I just tried to take them to the core and they went to the side. The core is being protected. She's expanding. So I'm going to take all your cords into the tree roots here and into the dirt, the sediment, the crystalline grid, and the water and the earth. All right, and now I'm going to draw up from the crystalline grid. So the crystals that I placed under the pyramids, I'm literally straight drawing the energy from those. Oh, my head. Up through your connections, all the way up into your feet, into your ankle. So at the back of your ankle, I need to clear this energetic space. Into your calves, into your knees, your thighs, your hips, into the root to clear some more muck. So there's a little bit like dark red towards what I would call like the back left side of the chakra. Because I'm also looking at so the chakras are round, but because we have a physical structure, it's like I'm going to the back left side of it, if that makes sense. All right. So you need a little bit more planet alignment within your chakras. So I'm going to literally grab from the universal flow from our new 7D structure system, and I'm going to put that in here. And it's expanding. And this is uncomfortable for you. But you've actually been doing the work. So I see that. It's like you're super uncomfortable. You've allowed yourself to rise into a vulnerable state. And here's some more expansion into that. So I know it's going to probably make you feel more, I don't want to say naked, but naked, right? Like, I don't know who I am. I feel like I'm totally out there and I feel exposed, and you're trying to feel comfortable within that. And that's reflecting in your root. And so I'm going to, it's almost like a clear foundation that is being built. Keep going. Now is time to find a balance within putting that light out. So I have to go up into your sacral, and I need to again grab the universal flow from 7D. It's more expansion here. So these are light codes, also activations. And as I'm just going to keep drawing that line of your chakras, because that's not the most important thing. I need to also go to your kidneys. And you need a hormone release. I feel like a little bit like of night sweats, like even maybe some night terrors in the energy, whether you're aware of them or not. This is because of hormone shifting within your system. It's really affecting you. So if your liver and kidneys can get dehydrated, I mean, like, how do I put this? When we start secreting less hormones, I feel like our system would almost become dry. And that's how I'm seeing it. It's not like you need water. It's like you need some hormones. I need some estrogen. I need to balance out the testosterone. Um, I'm breathing because I'm feeling a lot of pressure in your lower intestinal system. And so I'm just entering into all of it with my energy, and I have to breathe. I have to release. There's like some pressure on both sides. So it'd be like my fallopian tubes. And I am. I'm in like your ovaries, like my fallopian, like all that area, and I need to be there, and I also need to be in the kidneys and liver, and then I also need to be in the brain and the thyroid. So I am in all of these areas. The thyroid to the brain, to the hypoglottis, to the thyroid structure system, to the epiglottis, to the kidneys, to the liver, to like my fallopian tubes, my ovaries structure, and even my cervix area. And I need to get all of this in conjunct to release some hormones, to balance it out, to release it, to balance it out, to adjust the system. And then I'm drawing in moon energy here because it should be expansive, like expanding the system. And it feels very strange. So I almost feel like my fallopian tubes are like bloated. I don't know how else to explain that while I'm doing this. Or ovaries, like it's just bloated. Like the energy, I can feel it. It's different. And then there's some I want to say like cysts, but they're not like all anchored in and intertwined or anything. So I'm just cleansing that. And then I feel like this is like a causing almost what related to hot flashes. And like I just feel dry, like my system's dry. And so right then I go up to the epiglottis, the pituitary gland, the brain stem, the thyroid, and even my hair follicles and even my pores on my skin. I can tell a difference. Like everything is weird. Like my hair follicles are like all thick and weird. And then even the pores on my skin feel like very like just open. I don't know. I can just tell a difference. So I'm drawing all the hormones to the integumentary system, is where it's like the follicles of the hair structure of the system, and I'm bringing these lights like choo choo choo, some estrogen, and a whole bunch of other hormones. Like I get a list, and I'm not going to sit here and try to pronounce them all. And then including like triglycerides, pH balance, and then that draws me back down to my ovaries and my fallopian tube structure and system. And it's just like dry, and I'm bringing in a lot of moisture and life and plumpiness. And then I go from there into my breast. So into my mammary gland, sorry, not a gram, a gland. And I almost feel like it was squeezed the shit out of it and is still sore from that. Like there's still a wound in there, deep in the structure of the tissues. That's an emotional release healing through the breast. And there's guilt here. Why should I be healthy and they're not? Except free will and choices determine everybody's outcome. Free will and choices. We all have the same chances if we pass through the resistance. And so I need to, it hurts in my breast. Ouch. like from under my armpit, deep into my chest and under my breast, and then into my ovaries and my epiglottis and my pituitary gland and my kidneys and my liver and my cervix. Deep guilt. And I feel like from a hot flash to like a little cold to like sweaty to like adjustment. And even my cheeks are a bit red and my eyes look almost like dry and watery. It's weird. The whole system is being affected. And then what's really weird is I'm placing like a figure 8 throughout the center of you. And this is a full releasing the guilt, self-love, beauty, the beauty and the strength of you, but also a reminder of the powerful healer that you are, and to give you permission to allow yourself to even heal those that are close to you, because you can. It's this emotional barrier and guilt that prevents that from being set aside. And I feel like I'm just weeping. And like I'm just weeping and I'm having to like fetal myself right now, right? Like when we're in the fetal position, and just rock myself into comfort and have my beautiful quilt on me. And I need to write. I need to freaking just let myself be free and start writing and writing and writing and writing. There's a story in me. You are a gift of words. There's such beauty in the grace of your expression. It's it's elegant, and that's the deck that I pulled for you too. Isn't that like this beautiful, like just feminine beauty deck? I don't know how, like an antique, like it's such an old type of expression. It's very elegant and very poised and very beautiful. It's poetic. Have you ever tried to write poetry? Oh my. Oh, the saint. Like I could remember that globe I helped you see into the crystal ball. Now I want you to start looking into the world that way and expressing her wisdom through the beauty of your words, through the connection of the earth. Boom. And then I like see all of your chakras go do 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 do. Very beautiful. You're holding yourself back in a lot of ways, because we still don't understand the structure of the new earth, or almost permission of freedom. And like, I need a creative release. What stops you from trying a whole bunch of things? Like, seriously, have you ever tried to sew? Have you ever tried to express through the beauty that you see around you onto paper, and just allow that to open up, and then without expectations, allowing it to change in its perspective and perception and flow freely as it may. And there goes my sacral, something with my sacral in that, and my heart, my throat, and my crown. And then my head. So even my brain, I need some hormones, I need some oxygen, I need some more blood flow to the back of my brain. So this is like with like all the hormones shutting down, it's also affecting the back of my brain. Just like that, the best description is like it's drying up, like my system's drying up, you know? I'm like, not to get too intimate, but you know how moisture is a part of everything? It's like I'm just drying up. And then back to my breast. And it hurts. My breast hurts. My breast hurts right here. In here. It's very emotional. So you're holding to some emotions there. Guilt. There's deep guilt I'm not even sure you're fully aware of. And this is tied. So it's like a mother and a sister and like all of the feminine ancestral line it represents through. And then like into your genetic system. So as I'm here, I need to go into your genetic system and release these trapped ancestral emotions. So even grief can carry through our ancestral line. Yeah, and it affects our DNA. So where we don't release and we carry over, it carries over generation and generation in hopes that it'll get released, but we didn't always know what to do with that. But now with the ascension, it's necessary. That's what's calling this letting go of all of the past, because it's a rebirth for all. And then I'm very emotional about my dog. It's in my solar plexus and it goes up into my heart. Like I'm already planning for his, like I'm just emotional. I'm very emotional. I don't let a lot of my emotions out. I actually hold a lot of them in, and I feel like a little bottled up here. I don't like loss, and I don't like a lot of change, and I feel like a lot of change is happening to me all at once, inside and outside, and I just worry about everything and everyone, and I just want some balance and peace, and I'm not quite sure to always how to find that, but I find it. I get moments of that, but I want that to reflect in my whole entire reality. You're in more control than you know of your time, your freedom, your space, your choices. Don't worry about others. Worry about your joy of expression of joy. And I feel like I'm looking so hard for what brings me joy, and it's been hidden right in front of you the whole time because you haven't given yourself permission to just simply try things and be present and try this and try that and express this out with freedom, without the false perception of I'm not good enough. And in my heart, there was like this hidden door, and it just went boof. And I feel like a couple of like butterflies just flew out. And then I just feel like I'm just wanting to cry and cry and cry. You're going to need a salt bath because of the release of the grief and the toxins and then the hormone shifting. Oh yeah. And please drink a lot of water, and lemon water, but not a lot of lemon water. Like maybe 3 times, 4 times a week of lemon water, but then a lot of other water. And then ginger, beetroot, colloidal silver, a little bit of peppermint oil, like on the ankles. And this makes a lot of sense. It will affect the hormone release as well. And then my ankles are a little like, I feel like there's some water retention there, even if not a lot. So I'm releasing that. And then a little bit more pain in my breast, but it moved from deep by my armpit to towards the front side, towards the end of it. I don't want to be too personal. Although I just realized I keep grabbing my breast, but that's okay. It's a healing. I don't care. And now I'm going to the lymph nodes and the thyroid, and I'm just putting some healing light through those. I don't really need to do a lymph drainage. I just need to put healing light in that whole area. Like almost like my thyroid is starting to slow down a little bit because it goes with my hormones. And plus, be careful with that internal dialogue. Very important. It's like 666, and it gets in my ear and it gets in my head. And I already feel like the pressure from my ears is cleared, but don't let it back in. Even when it comes, work really hard again. And it's been trying to hit me with the twin flame stuff too, let me tell you. So just really push it. Don't allow any negative dialect. And I'll catch myself and be like, oh no, I'm love. And I'll meditate and try to raise my vibration. It's trying to wreak havoc on a lot of us right now. And it's like almost like this dark energy gets in our ear, and then it speaks negatively, but we pick it up because it's self-love is hard to come into. It can very much. We weren't in a world like that. Like almost to please others, I keep myself small and tell myself I'm not worthy so that I can let other people shine. And that's not your job. You shine to let them shine. The brighter you shine, the more they might shine. The brighter you shine, the more somebody might come to your door and go, knock, knock, knock. I need a healing from you, whatever this is. And you're like, ugh, really? But then don't let your dialect tell you, I can't do that. Yes, you can. And then a book. I see you. And this is also like past life related or ancestral. Like I almost see you like in a black and white position and you're sitting on this chair with your knitted blanket. And back then, like we didn't have TVs. I don't see a TV in the room. I literally might see like a little music box thing that might play some music or whatever it looks like. And then I see you like in a rocking chair and just writing and humming and just a flow of a beautiful poetic justice. It's beautiful. There's a gift. You have a gift. You really do. I don't think you see it yet. Watch out for your dialect, your dialogue. It has to shift. It has to. It doesn't align with the new earth. And it's kind of created some havoc. So I see your contract that you got the new contract with. And there's some muck you need to clear there. Okay, so just be very careful with what you tell yourself. I feel like it's just so internal and you don't realize it happens so quickly and so easily. And that's where it gets in your ears. Also, I don't think you're aware of how much your husband has somewhat of a negative dialogue. And that's why he likes to try to escape it a lot and go to the outdoors. He won't express it. He is not expressive of his emotions. And so you pick that shadow up sometimes. He is blocked in his emotions, very much so. It's like bottled and bottled and bottled. But I feel like men were taught to do that so that they can maintain, and they're not meant to be that way, right? That's just the way they were taught. And he's a provider, and so that's where that but also like helps others, and so he has to bottle these up. So as a crisis worker, we're trained, we're taught, we learn to let ours not be heightened. And so it's almost like we dole it out so much he doesn't realize he has a lot of this, but it's the shadow that's present, and it'll even get in your ears and you won't notice it. And then the next thing you know, you're like, I'm not worthy or something like that, right? Like those things, and we don't realize how quickly and easily it just really does affect us. And I feel like more is clearing out of my ear. And I don't feel any more pain in my breast anymore, but there's some emotions that need to flow. So just let them flow. But also it's almost like I was so like dried out, it was hard to cry. And I feel like the nice, gentle, emotional, the hormone release, but also a balance of it throughout the system is going to help you be able to release those emotions and sleep better and feel more calm, even though you don't realize at the same time some of that's happening. I feel like night terrors don't always wake us up, and we're not always available to the presence of them. Sometimes, not always. It's almost like our body's shifting, right? It does these weird things when we're sleeping and we're not always aware of it. But you might wake up sweaty, might have heart palpitations, you might get shortness of breath, you might get fatigued, or you might get a little vertigo. Those kinds of symptoms are good signs of that. Clean your pillows. There's like some spores and some yuck in the air. Just clean them. And then a final line of alignment, all the way down your chakras and into the earth. And I feel like I'm being... So your chakras, I did keep working through those. They are open and expanded. I just had to go do the other stuff, but I need you to know that each one did get a little bit of an expansion and the light code activation. But your throat has been wounded, so be careful. I don't think you realize you're doing it sometimes. They just happen so innately and naturally. So be more aware of your thought processes and the words that you allow to form or even hold space within your system. And it's usually self-reflective. So it's towards yourself, not a lot towards other people. And then your compass is slightly off. So I'm just pushing it back in, because there's some focus in the third dimensional reality and it's knocking your compass off track every time. So it's hard to not focus on that. It's almost like if you can detach your focus from it completely and, you know what I mean? And then something about the compass pointing due south. All right. I feel like that's it. I'm getting knocked out of your system now. So I remove my energy from yours. If you want to donate, Roger, absolutely. These ladies donated. Oh. All right. Amy's next. And then we have the other puppy. Right, Lisa? It was for the puppy, not you. Just saying, that was actually a really beautiful message. I got so many chills on that one. I love these cards. They went right along with it. Oh, it's wonderful. You don't have to think to be playful, though. To finish that out, just saying, to think to be playful is not playful at all. Don't think. You need to free your body from your mind and just literally be present in the moment and do things. That's how you're going to find your joy. Free yourself from the mind. Okay? Amy's like, I am ready and already releasing. Sweet. Let me adjust. Okay, Amy, I'm also feeling a message for you to go right along with your healing. I have to get 2 different decks here. The crows. So the earth, like your guides, are trying to speak loudly to you. But there's something about, sometimes you're busy, and that's understandable. But even in those moments, it's like tuning out into the world around you a little bit more. So allow the earth to truly be your guide, Amy, okay? As I'm getting into your energy, this is what I'm hearing. I feel like the earth is trying to connect with you deeper than it ever has before, which makes a lot of sense. And then I feel a lot of salt. You are totally bogged down by salt water. Oh. Isn't that weird how salt water can be very healing? But I feel like you're just too much. It's just too much for your system right now. Adjusting, sorry. Forgive me. Adjusting to one energy to another. And again, the energies are super dense, super intense right now. They affect others more or differently than they affect us in the new earth. Because you guys have done so much work, you're absorbing rather than purging with them more. Does that make sense? All right. There was a lot of cards that flew out there. Let me get a clear perspective. Yep. Okay. Change your focus. Didn't I say that, Amy? Change your focus. All right. Hang on. This is a lot of cards came out of one deck, and then I also need the crow deck so I can get a clear message for you all together. So just like I said, the earth is trying to communicate with you. So it's almost like a lot of distractions are playing out. Like I get so busy. I'm not seeing outward as far as I need to. I'm not seeing beyond what meets the eye enough. Okay. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I feel like that would help. In the meantime, though, you're going to have to combat it a lot. Let's see what these cards say. You guys, and the energies have been hitting me really hard. It feels really weird. They're just weird, right? They're weird, and we don't always understand them. So the more we tune in and then look beyond what meets the eye and are more spiritually connected. So you do need to meditate a lot more. You got to get into a space of calming the mind, okay? Your brain is very active a lot. And I feel like we got to get into a space of calming the mind. And then again, there's a little bit of self-worth reflections, because you're worth more than you give yourself credit for. And that is affecting you. Okay. It's affecting you. It has affected you in the past. It has affected you through the ego, the shadow. Okay. It has affected you, and it still is a little bit. And you're looking for a direction, a proper direction here. Whoa. Oh, okay. There it is. All right. So let's see the full. Yep. So balance, definitely an imbalance here. Okay. Wow. So through both decks, you are throwing some shadow. There's shadow that you need to battle that has gotten you before. So remember, when you heal with me, we remove it all, but it's going to always try to get back in. And until we've mastered that, we have a tendency to let it back in. Okay. So that's what's happening. We have some deep meditation is required. We have 33 night in this one. And then in this one, we have confront the shadow. Okay. So you're a twin flame, and you're also on a twin flame journey. And we need to never forget that, because you're already through the gates and he is not. Okay. Now, the way to help him is truly internal healing, and also confronting your shadow every bit of the way, deep diving into what we're doing, balance from the heart space, because you have shadow on both decks. Okay. So your shadow is coming at you. If it hasn't already, you've got lessons trying to play out again. You need a clearer direction through a heart balance. Okay. I feel like, again, changing your focus is really going to help you. And we have challenging times, right? Like big changes. There's challenging times because you are in a shadow component here. And this is where we've let it back in. So we need to make sure we're observing. See, the cards are going right along with what I said. Okay. Truly observing to what is yours and what is not. And you know how sometimes we go to meditate and there's all that chatter? I feel like this card reflects that really well, because there's person here, person there, person here, person there. So we all have all this chatter we need to get past. And so that's also kind of what I'm feeling in this card is deep meditation required continually. You have hidden gifts you have not expressed yet. And helping to find the direction, because for a twin flame union to come together, you have to be balanced from the heart center. And you have to bypass the shadow. The more you bypass yours, the more he can see clearly through his. Because if your compass is not inward and you're not balanced from the heart center, the DM is blind. And then there's this feeling of helpless and hopeless. Like, I don't know what to do, but the earth is trying to tell you, you are not alone. You are highly connected, more than you know. Okay. But it's being able to calm the chatter, to being able to change your focus. All right. And open up that heart center, because your dreams should be guiding your decisions, to allow them to become part of your reality. Open up your crown chakra a lot. And then again, dreams coming true. There's no reason you don't deserve that, because you do, and you can have it. There is nothing that should stop you. There is the shackles again. So I recommend also for you going through that 13 gates again and seeing what each gate represents, and then focusing on releasing those shackles every day. It's part of your shadow. Okay? All right, let's go into your energy for the healing. Right away, like my shoulder hurts and my heart hurts. Like I'm getting some shoulder pain right away. All right. I'm getting super hot too. I feel like your hormones are also messing up a little bit, like decreasing. So I'm going to draw down this golden column of light. It's like a pillar. That's what I keep hearing. It's like a pillar of light. And I need to cleanse the energy as it's coming down. So it's going to start to clear out your aura because the earth is trying to work with you big time. But there's like this, almost like this very challenging resistance. You are extremely stubborn in the wrong areas. Okay. And I feel like it's just from a state of protection from the old world. Again, old world stuff. And it's hard to let all that go. But then we feel like we don't know what to do, like we're floating in nothingness, but that's the new earth. It's very expansive. So these challenges are trying to get you, it's like it's going to keep kicking your ass until you let go of that and you surrender to it. Pay attention to beyond what meets the eye. Continue working on bypassing your shadow and finding your balance from the heart space and focusing in that direction and allowing your dreams to become your reality. Allow your dreams to be your guide. And again, 18th chakra is quite a focus right now. Like I need to open it a little bit here. And as I'm coming down towards your head, my head hurts. So I'm just going to continue with that pillar of light very quickly so I can come back up. So I'm going down. Yeah, my crown is very wonky, very wonky, very, very wonky. I feel like I'm always so busy, like I don't have time. And that's a shadow component. It's almost like avoidant behavior. If I stay so busy, this will pass. And that is not the case. God is trying to speak very loudly to you right now, very loudly, because you have a twin flame that is your responsibility at this point to help draw through. Okay. So a lot of internal focus, a lot of heart balance from the heart center. And your joy, again, it's like you deserve joy. You've done nothing wrong. You deserve joy and love and balance and creation and freedom. So it's like that dove rising out and being set free. Look up what that means to set a dove free. It's part of the message as I come down with the energy through your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, down your navel and your sacral and your root, down your legs and into the ground. And I need to take you directly to the crystalline grid. I can't go to the core again. It's when I try to take us to the core, you guys, it's like this barrier. It's like, whoop, it pushes it aside. She's expanding. Okay, so I need to take again the soil rich. I need the iron rich, the mineral rich soil. Just like in our detox. I loved that. That was the best experience. But I need to draw this up. So the earth is purging all her toxins. So it's like brand new soil. It's like she has rebirthed the soil. It's very mineral rich. It's high in oxidation. It's high in iron. It's high in minerals that nurture our body, not toxins. There's a difference. There's no chlorine in it. There's no medications in it. There's no waste in it. There's no nuclear crap in it. There's nothing in it. It's just pure unequivocal earth and nurturing of the earth. And then again, I see a figure 8. You've got to heal your relationship. First of all, I love you. I love you. There's nothing from me to you that's anything outside of unconditional love. And so that needs to reflect within you as well. Like you are truly loved, you are truly cared for, and you are very important. And I feel like there's almost like I have a hard time accepting that feeling, right? You know what I mean? What is stopping you from that feeling? And so I'm drawing up this, it's just this mineral rich soil, and it's coming up your connections into your feet. And I need to heal. I need to heal the connections on your feet here, your chakras. And this is hard for you because you have a twin flame journey. So I want you to do what I had to do. You have to literally go within and release those masks and look at your shadow and bypass the shadow and choose love every time it tries to reintegrate and find the balance from your heart center. There's no excuses other than that. There is nothing more important than that right now. And I feel like it's always these distractions that are keeping you from that. And it's the shadow. Because if he can't rise with you, what does that do for you? We need a clear perspective on that. We need to focus where it needs to be. And that's reflected in the cards too. This is like urgent. You're a twin flame. You both have to be aligned on the inside for him to rise all the way. So you got to really deep dive into the trueness and not allow the distractions to stop you anymore. No justifications, no excuses. Nothing should take you away from that right now. And that, I think, is reflected in the challenging times, right? Like I have to just focus on that. Our path is not easy. It's not meant to be. You can't change the world with easiness, right? Our comfort zone changes nothing. We would all fall. So it's okay. But if we don't look at it the right way, like this isn't difficult. This is beauty. I am a warrior. I am here to change the game, my friends. Like I'm going to help him. He can't see clearly and get out of that. So if he is focusing on a karmic, it's because there's something in you, right? So we got to look at it that way. So I'm drawing in the soil from that to my ankles. And yeah, I can see the shadow all around in your aura. That's where it's really at. But then it's like a little piece in the heart center. You keep letting back in. Oh, my head hurts. My head hurts and I feel nauseous. So I'm going from your ankles to your calves to your knees, but I need to go up into your blood and I need to purge all this salt water out of your blood. I feel like if you were aligned to the right energies, things wouldn't affect you so much. If that makes sense. I don't know if it's necessarily your physical location, but more of your internal location. Maybe a little bit of both, but one would eventually change the other either way. Your compass needs to remain inward, not external. Your focus cannot be around all the chaos in your environment. It's a distraction of the shadow. There's going to always be something. It's going to always try to convince you that this is more important and this is more important and this is more important, when everything right now is going to be more important within. It doesn't mean that you ignore everything in your reality, but you need to spend 10 times more time within in the balance of the heart center. And God is trying desperately to get you to do that right now. The energies, I should say, are more desperately trying to smack at you because you have a twin flame that needs to rise. He is probably at like maybe the 4th gate. Like he is nowhere near the new earth yet. He can't see clearly because your compass is external. You're out of balance in the heart center. I wish I could tell you everything that's going on with my DM&I, but I can't. But the shadow always tries to wreak havoc. You know what I mean? But we are 100% equal on the inside now. So it's internal work. And I'm immediately going up and I'm kind of bypassing your chakras, and I'm going right to your kidneys, but also your bladder and your urethra tract and your kidneys and your liver. And there's enzymes in your liver I need to excrete. And then that takes me to my heart. So in the fatty tissue of the heart, I need to take these stress enzymes out. The more you calm your energy and calm your mind, the less stress can affect you. You're kind of anchoring into the quick energies that are like, that's the falling world. You need to find the slower energies. Things will always work out in your favor if you allow them to. The universe is your friend, right? So I see that guiding light in my hand. Like you have the universe in your hand. The universe is within you. So I wish I could just really nail that compass inward, but that would be against free will. I can't do that, but I would if I could. Because you are a sweetheart. There's a great gift in you. That's why there's a lot of resistance. There's also a lot of resistance because if you don't both rise, what does that do? We don't even want to, I'm not even going to bring that into the energy. You just got to do the work. That's all it's being called of you now. Internal work from you affects him. You guys got to remember that twin flames are internal, not external. 90% of what we do is internal. And the rest is the union of the physical and the external. We communicate more internally than we can externally. When we are aligned in our heart center, we come together. So it's time for you guys to come together. He needs to come up now. And you do that by healing you, not him. That's already going to heal him. Does that make sense? This is where the shadow gets you. It keeps your distraction focused in the outward chaos. Crows. I see crows again. Pay attention to the subtle energies, the slow movements. I feel like when you tune into that, there's some fear here, and I'm going right to your solar plexus. And then from there, I'm going back to your heart and your heart muscle. And then a little love to the aortic valve. So you know how we have the ebb and flow? And the ebb and flow, it's like that valve that opens and closes and lets blood in and out. It's like the pump. I need to make sure it's closing all the way. I'm expanding your heart a little bit. Oh, my head hurts. Oh my God, my head hurts. So that's a lot of the reason why you're getting these headaches too. It's not just the salt water. It's the unalignment of the twin flames. So he's down here and you're up here, and like this battle ensues. So we have to keep our compass inward and balance from the heart center every day. You have to find that balance. So I do this, and then I do that, and then I do this, and it's all the heart nudges. And then the fear ensues and says, I should have done this, and I shouldn't. I think that's that shadow. And I have to bypass it as well. And this one's a doozy because the DM is right at the gate, my DM. And so these energies can be a doozy, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to the gallbladder, and again, the kidneys and the liver. I need to really flush all these enzymes out. These are kind of related to like anxiety and stress, and also hormone imbalance. And it's affecting the heart, including the ebb and flow valve. I need to adjust it all. And then that rich soil into the bones and into the blood structure. And that is purging all of this salt into the muscles as well. So I'm bringing up that soil into the muscles, and then I'm drawn to my kidney on the left, but also almost like your ovary as well on the left, especially. And then I need a hormone release here. And that to the thyroid, to the epiglottis, and the kidneys. And again, like my skin, and just I feel like I'm gray, like I can feel like again dry. And the soils, and then I feel the plant life as well, the greenery, the flowers, all of their energy is coming up into your system. And I'm going into your kidneys and your liver. Again, like I need my urinary tract healing. You put a lot of stress on yourself and you're trying to balance everything, but you're doing it externally. And that's why you're exhausted. It's like I'm trying to make the wheel spin, but through an external effort. And it's like the old world. It's like I'm pushing in the old world, the old structure, and it's falling apart. No matter what I do, it doesn't work. Keep your focus inward, 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 and then enough to where you can see the world around you tell you what to do. The correct, right? It's slower. It's much more gentle. It's much more subtle, like a crow flying over going, "Quack, quack." Like, you know what I mean? Like that gentle message that just presents the moment you need it because you're in tune with the world around you. Your focus is inward and you are open and in balance from the heart center. So I feel like I'm talking to your heart space there. And then again, there's like shackles of the mind. So that's why the 13 gates, to know what the gates represent, will help you continually free those shackles. Because if we do the meditation for the healing, that's great, but we need to know truly what the gates represented and not allow those shackles to bind you. That's old world. These are stuff you already healed out of. So, but I'm not there like helping us through at this time. So now it's truly in your hands for this union of the twin flame. And God has put it in your hands. Like it's for us to do. You know what I mean? Like I had to go internal to heal with mine to unite. And again, and that's what I've been doing every day. Staying internal, not trying to let that muck and that chaos and that fear, it's deep-rooted fear. Like this is some trying to convince you that the whole world's about to explode. You know what I mean? Like it's very difficult to tune out of that. It's not easy. It's where, like Malachai said, where the resistance is applied, it's great when something big is at the other side. Okay. So I see that. I see that resistance. I see that fear. But you have to ask yourself, is love more important? Unconditional love is more, and I know it is, you know what I mean? But remind yourself, is this love-based or is this a third dimensional distraction? And then there's a lot of pressure rising up into your throat and into my head. There is two contrasting energies. I feel like I'm being pulled backwards. So you can try to convince him to see all you want, but it's not going to help him see. You're not hearing in the heart center, so he can't hear either. You know what I mean? And then my heart going to the actual heart and then into my left chest area. So like underneath my breast there, it hurts. More hormones. I need some estrogen and some other things here. And then into my DNA, I'm just going to fill it with hormones. And then it goes back to my fallopian tubes, my ovaries, into my kidneys and my liver, into my thyroid, and into my epiglottis. It's like I need hormone release and I need a balance of melatonin. And then some more liver healing here. And then some vasodilation into the head. So in the back of my head, I need to open the vasostructular system. I need to dilate it. I need to open it so the blood flows freely, because that's what the salt water kind of stops you from your blood, and it really messes with these aspects, right? I get a little bogged down, and it's like almost like our body's in anaphylactic shock in a mild manner and all that. But also your compass isn't in and your energy is very tight. So there's multiple components here. You're too involved in the chaos around you. It's a shadow. It's almost like an escape. If I stay busy, I don't have to deal with this. It's an escape you got used to, but it's no longer serving you. There's been some adjustments, but it's still not being seen clearly that it's shadow and old world components. And so I'm bringing strength. I have to bring strength into the heart space. Gabriel is helping to bring this golden light into your third eye right here as I'm bringing a lot of strength into your heart space. Strength is required. This is not a journey for the weak. We are warriors. You are a warrior. You're also a very beautiful healer. You need to allow yourself to rise to that. I feel like any excuse outside of that is just a distraction of the shadow. It's always great resistance where big, beautiful changes reside, and also necessary ones. We need a balance of the masculines to rise, so there is a major, major shadow against that. And then we can look at like De La Roca. Do we really know if he's the masculine or is he the feminine side? We don't know that, right? So I feel like there's a lot more feminine twin flames rising than the masculine side, and we need to balance that out. And so there's a big shadow component against that. De La Roca is actually more in touch with his feminine side. And I bet you anything, his component, his twin soul is more on the masculine side. You could be either or. It just depends on what your external dialect and what your main balance component is. And then back to your heart, your actual heart, not the heart chakra. So I'm giving a lot of love to your heart. There's a lot of skipped beats because I feel like it's the hormone relation. So I'm going to your fallopian tube, like your ovaries, into your heart, into your thyroid, and into your epiglottis. And it's like a boom, boom, boom. And then a liver kidney cleanse. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And then a melatonin balance and release from like the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, and then my vasoconstriction. So that mineral-rich soil is going to come all the way up your vascular system, all the way to your brain right now. So I'm drawing it all the way up your vascular system, all the way into your brain right now. And I need to give it that iron-rich, mineral-rich soil. This is the new earth soil. So it's not filled with all those toxins like everybody else is still kind of anchored into, right, in the old world stuff. It's what's filtering right now. Does that make sense? This is new soil. And I can feel it. It's weird. Like I feel it going up to my brain. But I feel like it's calmed, like this fire, almost like this fire and this pain in the back of my head. And it was just kind of inflamed. And then the dryness was making that worse. So here's the thing with the salt water. I'm surrounding it with trees. So I've got like one in front of you, one behind, one to the left, and one to the right. You are literally being surrounded by trees to help filter that out around you, because your focus should not be in distraction. It needs to be internal. This is God's been trying to show you this, but the resistance is quite strong, and you're so used to giving your power away to that. You will affect everybody more great with an internal compass and balance from the heart center. Your reality would shift, but this is challenging. This is one of your bigger challenges. You have to confront that shadow. You have to. I mean, you don't have to because of free will, but that's what the universe is really pushing you to do. That's you like to be that in that path and that purpose. That would be a have to step. Hope that makes sense. And then I'm drawing the mineral-rich soil to your heart, into that fatty tissue part, the muscle part of the heart. And it's purifying it and removing enzymes and toxicity and just like an imbalance in the energy. And then through the blood and the bone structure, it's removing all of the salt. And then in the lungs. So I have to remove the salt from the lungs. And then your third eye. So your pituitary, your pineal, I need to remove the salt. And be watchful of fluoride. Don't do fluoride in any way, shape, or form. Even if you go to the dentist, say no fluoride. I had a dentist make me feel less than because of that. It's like, dude, shut up. I'm out. I know what it does. I do healings on people all the time. I know what fluoride does. No, thank you. It's like the skull and crossbones. Nope. And they even put it in our foods. It's in our waters. So try to be more. God literally told me the other day, only shop at Safeway. And I looked at the name and I'm like, it's the Safeway. So I don't know if you have a store like that there, but there should be stores that are more mom and pop. They get their fruits and vegetables from your local places. Like, especially in your area, like be super mindful. I would like go more inland to go shopping. Your DM is actually like crying on the inside. Like his soul is screaming, but he can't see clearly. You've got to be in the heart center for him to see. It is not affected by my DM. My DM is at the new gate. So he can't see if you're not in your heart center and balanced. It's a shadow you've got to fight, and it's going to try to bite you because it's where it's got you. So again, more strength in the heart and anchoring it down. I feel like my head is calm, but I feel like these waters, it was like whoosh, whoosh, and now it's like calming the thought processes of the mind. Be aware of the chatter. The more you meditate, the more you'll get out of it. It's really wreaking havoc right now. It's the collective mind think. It's the mind funk, that collective chatter. Your focus has been too external. And for now, I feel like I'm just starting to like draw everything down and just calm this space. This was a lot all at you at once. And then a little more pressure in my head. I'm just calming it down and allowing the hormones to continue to release and do their thing. At least very slowly and methodically and gently. And then I'm just and I feel like I'm starting to exit from your energy more and more. The mineral rich soil is going to be present, and then so are the trees for quite some time. So use them to feel into your body at this time, and then strengthen that from here forward, right? So it's like a catalyst. Use what just occurred and ride that wave as much as you can. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm putting an ankh on your chest for protection. It's like a gift, like a necklace ankh on your chest for protection. And you could get one of those if you would like, a brass one, just a small one on your chest for protection. And I specifically said brass. And with that, I'm like, whoop. So I'm just going to call my energy back, give yours back to you, and come out of that. I wouldn't push against it. I would balance from the heart space. You are so welcome. What does that mean? Roger said, dang, Master Healer. Because I am listening to spirit. I am in balance from my heart center. Yeah. I love it. I like the way you said it though, Roger. I'm like over here laughing internally. Thank you. YouTube can blow me all at once. Dirty mind, get it out of the gutter. All right. So we still have a puppy to go, right? I know you guys have been on a minute, but that's okay. I kind of knew it was going to be necessary. Awesome. Goosey. Mm. Let me adjust out of that fully here. Okay. You know, like Amy and Jacinth, if you guys are still here, some of us have like bigger gifts. When you have bigger gifts, there's more resistance also. Okay. Because when your light shines, you help so many more through those gates. And remember last year when I told you even De La Roca was getting hit with a shadow, like it hits you good. It can. So just be very mindful. Here it's going to be like the end all, but the moment you step over it, you're like, oh, this ain't so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh, freedom. You know, that's all right. Take that nap. Yes, these healings truly do affect you. So rest up. I don't know what day 10 is going to bring on Facebook today. No worries. I never do. I haven't even tuned into it at all. So you're good. Yes. Yep. Okay. So then we have Goosey Goose. All right. Well, I can't do a message for him. Everything will occur internally in him because he is a doggy dog. So let me adjust here. So this one's different. As I'm trying to go into Goose's energy, I feel like I'm going from the top down. Like he is bouncing off, almost like bouncing away Christ energies. Like I need to clear his aura too. So both of your animals are reflecting auras very loudly today. And then again, I feel pressure in my head. So he is, the energies are so dense, he's almost like blocked them, like just to try to be calm. So these animals are very sensitive right now. So I need to ground him. I need to take all 4 of his paws and really push them into the earth. I'm literally taking them down into the earth. And Goosey's a bit older comparatively, right? Like 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. I don't know, somewhere in there. And his genetic coding, that's what I'm reading. So I need to push past this energy. It's like hurting my shoulders and my back, and I need to truly ground him. Maybe 7, I don't know, whatever the number is, but his energy is around between 5 and 7. Oh gosh, and then the pressure is profound at the back of his head. Profound. So I need to like burn it. I need to like burn this energy away so that he can relax. I need to relax. Like I feel like he's tense and he's almost in warrior stance because he can feel these shifts. They're insanely big. And so I just need to calm that. I need to calm that. I need to calm that. And then I feel like wood, like a wood fence. And I feel like I'm standing in a backyard and I'm shoving his feet slowly into the ground, just really putting his feet into the ground. And again, with that beautiful, warm and cool, mineral rich soil, just so yummy, so yummy. So he has an earth star chakra as well that I need to open up. He needs to connect here. And I need to calm him. He needs to shift a little bit. He needs to expand, and he's been blocking it. So even animals, remember I took animals through the portals along. Yep. And there's a vaccine presence here as well that I need to clear out of his kidneys and his liver and his lungs. So it almost brought some mucusy into the bottom of his lungs. Sorry, I shifted there for a reason. So whatever I was doing, it just shifted to this. So I need to go directly to his kidney, his liver, and his lungs. And there's almost like this mucus lining around them all, almost like creating a barrier. It's weird. And that makes sense to me because medications do that, right? So when they put like depressant medications and things in our body, it creates an absorption barrier. We can't absorb things. We don't express emotions very well anymore. And I feel like this is a part of why he's like he's not relating to the world around him. Maybe too. Maybe it's the V's. Like they don't compute because in the new earth, we don't get sick. And animals have gone through the portal. This makes so much sense. Again, I'm not a vet and I'm not a doctor. And I know there's some not agreeing energies there, right? And I don't want to say anything that's going to cause you to have conflict. It's totally your free will. But from what I am literally seeing is it doesn't align. And I need to connect him with the new earth. And as soon as I was pushing him in and drawing in the soil and releasing that pressure, I went directly to the liver and the kidneys. Oh, and even the brain. So the lungs and then the brain. And it's almost like this liquidy barrier where the energies are not coming in. I need to expand. And so I'm removing this liquidy barrier, almost like a mucusy, very thick mucusy barrier membrane that's been created. And it's on my liver and kidneys and it's in my heart. So there's some fluid in the bottom, not in my heart, my lungs. There's some fluid in the bottom of my lungs. And then there's almost like this gray cloud on my brain. The genetic modifications don't align. So it's even in the food, some of the foods, the water, some of the waters, and then some grass. Some people's grass even have genetic modifications that don't align with the true earth. They don't. They just don't. The new earth has returned. Christ has returned. It has to be pure and from the creation of earth, not of man's hands. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And so I really need to flush his liver and kidneys a really big time. And then again into the colon and the intestinal tract and in my lungs. I need to go into my lungs and I need to literally scrape, like almost like I'm using a spoon. And I'm scraping a little mucus out of the bottom of my lungs. So it could almost lead to pneumonia type stuff. That's how I feel in my lungs. Like a dog can cough, right? Like and then there's some gray foggy in my brain. So it's like almost when I came down to his energy, I felt like a gray cloud over his head. That's what this is. Oh, the chills. And he's very emotional. He's been like very emotional and feeling disconnected. Animals are super emotional creatures and they connect with the earth very easily, but they can't connect to the old earth anymore. They've already been put through portals. I never really saw dogs get kicked back too much, right? It was all other things. So we have to just be mindful. I saw sharks get kicked back somewhat because of all the toxicity in the ocean, and I saw other animals, but not so much dogs. So I feel like they need to connect to the new earth as much as possible. So I'm digging his legs further into the dirt. And his heart is a little bit older. It's reflecting a little bit older than what his age is. And so I'm going into his heart and it's almost like a little enlarged, nothing alarming. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to heal it. Okay. So it's like inflamed, a little mucusy, and I need to put and it as I'm going to it, it's pretty big. I need to put a lot of love to it. And that was also reflecting in some of the mucus in the lungs. So as I'm doing that, I'm scraping out the lungs even more. And I'm like healing the alveoli thingies, the little feelers in the lungs that exchange the oxygen and carbon monoxide. Aw, the babies. Just a sweetheart. And then again, I'm removing more of the fog from the brain. Oh. Oh. And I'm also hearing, Lisa, that soon you need a healing too. I don't know why, but you do. But that's a total different thing. But I have to tell you what Spirit's telling me. At some point in time, and it shouldn't be about money. If money is an issue, let me know. But you need a healing soon. Okay? I'm in his heart and I'm getting chest pains. Like my heart hurts. So I need to put my focus back there. And I'm almost holding his heart in my hand. Not almost. I'm holding his heart in my hand. And it's very meaty and like juice. Like there's like this film around it, like this mucusy. And so I'm cleansing it off. But I'm also like, I'm regulating the beat, but when I'm doing that, I'm bringing a lot of healing light into the meaty components of the heart and into the valves as well. And I'm helping it to relax, calm down, and kind of shrink in size a little bit. And I'm making everything flow peacefully and normally. And again, up into my eyes and my nose. I'm cleansing all that as well. So my whole entire like sinus cavity, the heart, right? It has the pulmonary, which you have one component going to the lungs and one going to the body. Pulmonary, lungs connection. So, and then physical vessel connection. Da-dum. 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 It's like a regulation. Da-dum. Da-dum. A justification of the heart muscle. Da-dum. Da-dum. Almost like electricity going through my hand into his heart. Da-dum. And I'm just calming. I'm almost like shrinking the meaty part. I'm clearing all this mucus off of it from the liver, the kidneys, the heart, and out of the bottom of the lungs. And then there's some grayness on the brain. Da-dum. 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 I got to tell you too, like I know our animals are like our kids, but they're not kids, right? But if you go to a school website right now, like mine, I refused my kids' vaccines for the first time ever these last few years. And on their website, it'll literally tell you, don't worry, it doesn't change your genetic makeup. And then now they're actually saying it does. So I found that interesting. I'm like, why would they say that? You know, so I feel like it's just wreaking havoc all over right now. Because the earth is rising, where those things are don't align. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to say it's like warfare here. I feel like that's what they've been using to change them over the last decade or more and more, and more and more and more and more and more. And they just don't align with the new earth. It does mess us up genetically from what we were meant to be. And I feel like I'm just gently putting that back and making sure it's all flowing together. And I'm removing all of the mucus from the pulmonary valve and the pulmonary connection into the vascular connection. And then into his head. It's just like foggy. So I almost get like groggy. I almost would look up at you and look a little lost in my eyes sometimes. And it's just like I just detach from the world because it's not making sense. And I feel like with that, I need also some sun into his head. He's not as young as the other one, so I feel like he's just a little bit more susceptible to certain things. And then I need to go into his bones. So when I see the bones and they're porous, their holes are bigger, it's porous, I'm going to bring some healing into here. So like he would be prone to like a weakening bone structure, you know what I mean? Like in the hips and in the spine, and then like their legs and into the feet. And I'm just going to bring a lot of light in here. I need to strengthen his bone structure. And then my head, like, whoa, like my head hurts. He is actually connected to the collective mind funk. So there was like when I was in his head, my mind got very busy. So you could call him like a psychic dog. Like I feel like he would tune into things prior. He's very good at that, right? Like he would know a half an hour before you got home. He will know us before a storm is coming, especially now that his senses are clearer. He can feel more at ease with the earth. Animals are that way. They're emotional structures. They don't speak like we do, right? They tune in to the frequencies around us and the earth, and that's how they navigate the world around them. If those senses get deconnected, they have a really hard time, and it actually can shorten their lifespan. And so from his chakra system out, I'm expanding. I'm expanding. I'm expanding his energy from his center line out, especially around his heart. And then I'm going into his DNA structure and I'm healing that. And then into my teeth, and I'm healing that, and into my ears. I'm also just bringing a lot of love there. I feel like I hear humming a lot. So almost like I have a little bit of auditory canal damage. Like I hear a lot of ringing in one side of my head, but he can't express that to you. So how the heck would you know that? But I feel like I'm not hearing clearly. It's like almost like my hearing is going down on one side. This could be from something loud causing damage. It could be from the mucus. Who knows exactly what causes it? But as I'm in here, I feel like I'm clearing it up. Like I'm hearing. It's like almost like a whoop, like I can hear clearer. And then the ringing is slowing down and tuning down and tuning down. So like maybe like you'll say his name and he won't respond right away, or you'll have to be like, "Hey, Goosey," like say it louder. It's just there was some actual damage in one of his ears. Could also be just his structure and his age. It could be many things. Or multiple components combined is kind of what I'm hearing here too. And I feel like my head is clearing, like I'm feeling the energies, like I'm calming down. My shoulders were like this when I started, and they're relaxing. I'm calming down and I'm just sinking gently into the earth. And almost like I just sat down now, like I'm sitting down, I'm no longer in guard. I'm no longer in stance waiting for something to happen or wondering what, because I was disconnected from the energy. So I wouldn't know if something bad was coming. He's extremely tuned into the earth where, um, I mean, they all are, but he has a little bit of a very, if he can't feel those energies, he gets very lost. Like, I don't know what's coming. And so I almost like, I'd rather sleep. I'd rather disconnect completely. And again, with the salt bath with him too, a little bit of Epsom salt with his feet. You don't have to go too high, and just let him soak in that for a little bit. But then make sure you rinse it off really good so they don't lick it, because it can dehydrate them if they would drink that water. And kind of make them feel yucky. So don't let them drink it. You don't want to give them too much of a bath, but just like submerge their feet in it for a good 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you can handle it. Use like peanut butter or something as a distraction. Aw. And so what I see their favorite position is like you sitting on the couch with a blanket and them just sleeping around you. That is their favorite place to be. Absolute, unequivocal favorite place to be. They feel a lot of comfort in that space. Goosey especially. Like he may even lay at your feet, lay on the floor in front of you. He's almost like a guard dog. I like to be on guard. I like to know when something's coming so that I can protect. Where the other is going to absorb, like an emotional absorption, he is here to like protect. He wants to stand ground, but he can't do that if he can't hear the energies. And I feel like all that mucus is out of my lungs, but now it almost feels dry because of that void. And so I'm bringing a lot of light into the lungs. And then again, the bone structure. So I need to scrape his bone marrow up here on his upper, like towards his shoulder blade, where his bones are quite thicker. That doesn't always feel great. Just a little achy. I can feel the achy. This will also help purify the blood flow, the iron part of the blood too. More oxygen through the blood because of the bone marrow scraping. And the brain fog. I feel like I'm tired now. I'm super exhausted from all these healings. He knows he's not kicking me out of his energy, but he's like, whoa. Like, whoa, like this was a lot, He's very much more methodical. I feel like a little bit more slower in the energy vortex. He tunes in and just takes his time, where the other puppy might be more hyperactive and more ready to go, you know what I mean? And ready to do, because I'm younger. That's why. And so I just feel like I'm just like, oh, like I needed that. And I didn't even know I needed that. Then I feel like I need a little water. And then the gum line, I'm going to cleanse a little bit. Like I need to bring in some healing light towards the gums, the gum line, especially in the back of the mouth here. Just a little bit like inflamed where my teeth are. And then my eye, like I almost have like a little bit of damage to my one eye where my ear was messed up too. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know. It's not clear. Maybe he hit his head. It could have been a few number of things, but I just need to bring healing here. So it's like to the retina of the eye where the ear was affected. He's not as much into music as the other dog. So I'm like, what does he like? He likes mellow. He likes to lay by your feet. He likes when you're calm. He likes when the whole house is calm, almost like sitting by a fire, that warmth feeling, the warm energy. And so like sunlight, you know what I mean? Warmth. He likes a lot of warmth. I like to feel warm on my chest. That's what he says. I like warm on my chest. So like maybe a blanket cuddling, like I like warm. I like the warmth. He likes a feeling, not necessarily a beat, I like a feeling. I like warmth. Please, warmth, comfort, blankie. Like maybe he has a blankie. If he doesn't, that'd be a great thing for him. But like a blankie. And right here on his chest, which is what our heart chakra, right? So that makes a lot of sense. And I get really fuzzy and warm when I say that. Oh, just like so much fuzzy. Like, how do you know? Like, he's just validated right now and into his throat, and it's all tingly and warm. Like, truly, like, I feel like I'm about like, what? Like, oh, like, just so happy right now and comforted. Just a true feeling of comfort. And I feel it from the heart to the throat. And so warm and love. I feel love. I feel love. I feel the feeling of love again. And I wasn't feeling those feelings, like they were blocked. And it just went like, whew, oh, it feels so good. And this light just went, wah, and I feel like he's rising now out of the dirt. And I just feel like I just went, like I'm exhausted now. He might have gas. His urine might smell and look funny, but these are just ways that he's going to process all of the healing, especially from the heart. So he could be panting a lot. He might be more tired than usual. He might have a few things. He might have not a lot. It just depends on how his body's going to process that all out. So if a dog can sweat, he will. It might be runny nose a little bit of watery eyes. All will should pass quickly. But as true healings, as you guys know, that are used to me, and so our bodies will reflect that. They will purge. Oh, and I feel like I'm starting to oh, come out of his system now. Oh, he's so sweet. Instead of like, hurry up and get out of here, that's weird. He's just like, oh, like so comforting. And I feel like he's like licking my face. Like he's very like grateful. He's very lovey. He's very open in the heart space, but he's also very tough and very strong. And he's here to protect. He likes to be able to protect. He likes to feel like he could if he needed to. And the only way to do that is to read the energies around me. As far as foods would go, I would say the same things. But do you know they also make like doggy ice cream? I feel like he would really enjoy those. They both might, but I feel like he really would. Some super yummy and cold. I think they're called puppy paws where I'm at. So I don't know if you have those, but if you ever try those, that'd be awesome. And then again, some grains are okay. We got to watch, like, I don't know, some of those non-grain foods were actually more dangerous. So just he would do pretty good with like barley. He would do pretty good again with like carrots and peas also. And a little bit of like brown rice type stuff and some potatoes type things again. And then things like that. Fish is probably fine too, but I would definitely stay away from like steak type stuff and chicken, all of those byproducts. And there's a lot of byproducts, so just watch those things. But for some reason, for him, I feel doggy ice cream would be so good. On a warm blankie, oh, he would be in heaven. Truly would be in heaven. Oh my gosh, it makes me all warm up. And if you had a fireplace going too, oh, this dog would be in heaven. Okay, and with that, I'm like, whew, bye, Lucy. I'm having a hard time coming out of his energy. He's such a sweet baby. I just want to cry. Oh. Yeah, I don't well, we don't want fake people food, right? But in truth, they can eat a lot of what we eat if it's good food and healthy and stuff. So I wouldn't do like McDonald's for them, just as like I don't want to do for my kids too. But my dog, she's so funny. She will not want to eat her food, and I will finish mine. We have some vegan things and stuff like that, and I'll like have a little leftovers, and I'll put it down, and she will literally stare at it and tell me, "I want that." Like she'll bark at it, like eat your food. And she'll look at me like, rah, rah, rah. Okay. She's funny. 6.5 years old. I told you. Look at that. I didn't know. How cool. Aw. That's okay. Don't worry. Oh. Oh. He is. What a sweetheart. Thank you for all the validations. Yeah, so you have because if they're acidic, that will bother him. Yeah. Veggies and fruits can, but he can do corn and some peas. That would be the only ones I would really give him. You can give him a little bit of ginger, but it would be very, very little. Like oils in his food would also help. So the fish part of that would be beneficial too. But yeah, I can see that because he's so in tune with the earth. So it has to be like pure. And he's 6.5. How cool would I say 5 to 7? Well, at least we know his body is where his age is. That's a good thing. Aw. Aw. So cute. He has a spot under the covers. Aw. How cute. Does he have his own blankie? How cute. So cute. He loves that, like right in his chest. Aw. Warms my heart. I love healing animals too. Well, thank you to all that came today. Here, I thought I was just going to give a message and then the healings rolled in. So I'm thankful to do that. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. Well, that's very validating for you then. That's so cute. Yeah, that's like his comfort. So cute. Aw. Well, thank you guys. I love you very much. For those that are joining for day 10 on Facebook, it'll be at 4:44. I don't know what's coming through. Yeah, we will just see. What an awesome day to do animal healings and people too. I love that. What a blessing. So much love, you guys. It kicked my butt. I'm going to go eat some veggies and fruit. Aw, thanks for being here, you guys. I feel like you didn't have to do that, but I love giving the healings too. So, I'm just these energies with the twin flame thing. I think we can all use a break right now, right? Absolutely. Absolutely, Lisa. For sure. And I can do some free ones again soon, but got to be in balance too. So with all these free healings, got to balance here, then we'll balance there, and we'll just keep going. Okay. But don't forget about you too. And I know your dad is up and coming soon. I didn't schedule it solidified because I need him to be ready. So when he is ready, okay? Absolutely, Jacinth. Thank you for letting me know. No worries. I think Amy said she won't be either. So that's okay. I'm so grateful you guys were here today. Thank you. Wrestle up because these are a lot of healings. You all know the routine. Yes. Tuesday should be good. Actually, Tuesday is probably one of my better days because I don't do a lot of live stuff during that day except for my healing light movement. So make sure with him and then let me know and I'll just send a Zoom link and get it off. Yeah, I figured that's what you're talking about. Thank you. And I'll get it off my calendar. So much love to you guys. Ride these waves. Ride these waves. It's the best thing I can say. Okay. They are insanely dense right now. Like, I don't know how else to say that. So self-love. Okay. I didn't, just in case, because I didn't want it to switch, but it's still open. So what time did you schedule it for? It was like 5 my time or 4 my time? And I'll just send a Zoom link. You can email me again or whatever. I know it's in the evening, so we're good. I will make sure I get you the link ahead of time. Okay, perfect. I'll send a Zoom link then. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to the puppies too. I just love it. So much love, you guys. And thank you for all the validations. Remember, expand our knowing. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go catch back up and get ready for 4:44. If you guys want to join those, join those. You're so welcome. There's actually 10 days to a day of free angel healings, and it's actually ascension based. So if you haven't ventured over there, I would recommend to do that, but you don't have to by any means. So much love. I'll see you guys later. Bye.